the address field. So my addresses are sort of like framework knitter and things like that.
Okay, yeah, that's not good.
So last time Jenny was
I missed the last one.
Yeah, but I meant the last time we spoke, Jenny, you were having trouble downloading and running Family Historian. You were getting the blue screen of death. But Jenny managed to overcome that by tinkering with your security software?
No, well, actually, my computer nerd did. About $200 later, we worked out what the problem was.
Okay. It is one of the topics that has come up in the surveys as being of interest to folks to receive further education on, and there are a handful of folks who feel brave enough to have a go at sharing the knowledge they have with a wider audience. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Paul. We're just gathering. Just a technical warning, guys, that I have now, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people on, I have broadcast this, so this is going out live, so no biting, no scratching, no punching below the belt.
This is all being recorded for hysteria.
Certainly is. Peter, a request for you, actually. I saw a response that you made to the custodian forum, and it's come up on several other forums that I'm sad enough to be active on, and it's about text manipulation of data, for want of a better word, in Excel. And I saw your response to a query about separating a full name into forenames and surnames, and yeah. I don't want to steal someone else's thunder. Colin will be joining shortly, but following the committee meeting, we're hoping to get a new bulletin board up and running, and it might be an ideal place to put such text manipulation handling on Excel in a shared environment. Do you have any objection if I take the...
No, well, it wasn't actually mine to start with. I found that on another board that somebody offered up that as a solution, and I checked it, and it works extremely well, better than many others.
Is that the one? Add the columns?
Yes. It's the one that separates out the last name of a joint name. So if you've got like 3 names all in one field, it'll just take the last one, assume it's a surname,
okay, I don't know that.
Put it in a separate field. And it is very, very useful from that point of view. Now, what was I going to say? I did originally put that up in a little shared environment in the days before Dropboxes and things, but I did actually remove it a few months ago because I was starting to use it for other things with the committee. But yes, I think some ordered place where we can put useful utilities like that would be helpful. What it really needs, I suppose, is both the file and a little description of what it does. The other thing that I must admit now I've forgotten the magic answer to, and that is in Excel it's entirely possible that you can have numeric fields that don't that don't sort numerically, and there's a fix for that, and that's one that desperately needs writing down, because that's another problem that people often have, because numbers in Excel aren't quite what they seem.
Peter, do you mean numbers treated as text in Excel?
It's where you want to treat a number as a number and therefore to sort it numerically, but where you've actually got, let's say, leading zeros which you want to keep.
Oh, okay.
And that's much more complicated. Excel doesn't really, doesn't really cope with that very well. But there is a bug there, essentially, in Excel, and somebody told me you have to do something crazy like, some cutting and pasting and God knows what to get rid of the problem. But I must admit now I've forgotten what the solution was. But yes.
Sorry, is that how you can get past, it'll do all the 1 figures starting with 1 first before it'll go on to something else. Like, no, sorry, it doesn't do that. How does it do it? Like, you might have 1 to 300, and it'll do 1 to 9. It'll do, sorry, 1, then it'll do 10, then it does 100.
Yeah, and that's because it's sorting it as text.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you have numbers like that and they're sorting in that order, then it's sorting it as text. So you need to change the thing and set it as numbers. But what I found is that sometimes even then it doesn't work, especially where you're wanting to keep leading zeros on numbers, like in membership number fields and crazy things like that. So that, you know, there's a whole gaggle of experience of people from various groups about manipulation of numbers in Excel. It's quite a black art to get it to come out correctly.
Has anybody looked at those 2 free Excel books that Amazon was offering?
Yeah, I downloaded them to my Kindle and then realized that you couldn't possibly read them on a Kindle. They're far too, I mean, they're really A4 documents.
Oh, are they? I've downloaded them to the PC.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go back and read them on the PC Kindle reader, and I'm probably then they'll be readable. But yeah, on the Kindle they're impossible.
Right. I haven't looked at them yet, but I did download them, so I wondered how helpful they'll be.
Yeah.
But in future, Peter, I'm sure you've seen it. I guess there'll be a broader announcement. I shouldn't really talk about it once it's been recorded, but there will be a shared bulletin board area, and if I remember correctly, there's an area for Excel, and it would be good, I think, to put these text manipulation strings on there at least, so folks can dip in and out as they wish, because I'm sure we've all done the same thing in terms of having to split fields or combine fields, or someone was asking how to transpose fields from a column layout to a row layout, and vice versa. Those kind of things are good. And it struck me, Peter, that yourself and Andrew Millard in particular seem to be black belts at such utilities.
I don't know about black belt. I mean, Andrew is very good. You know, I struggle occasionally, but yes, you have battles over the years, and certainly that was my big experience with Custodian. And I have to admit that's probably why I haven't used it as much as I really should do, is the struggle to actually get data in there in the first place. Is quite difficult. I mean, it is an underlying Custodian is an Excel, is an Access database. But of course, with the more recent versions of Custodian, as Chris has told us on some of his talks, you can't get at them. So you can't kind of manipulate them separately from Custodian. I think in the early version, I was able to play all sorts of things to get things right. But yeah, it is a struggle.
Yeah, Custodian 2 was very good at that.
Yeah, you could have a good play, and then when you got it right, you know, you just feed it back, and there it was, you know, because there's a lot of manipulation you can do within Access to get things right. And the only problem is a lot of the formulae that you use, like, you know, if you look at that complicated formula in that little Excel thing I put up, of course, they look very much like the formulae that you'd use in Access, but they're not. Access and Excel use completely separate functions.